There is something almost legendary about the chaos that follows Ray J. It clings to him the way smoke clings to a burning house, messy, dramatic, and impossible to ignore. And now, with Princess Love walking away from him yet again, leaving him stranded in the emotional ruins he helped create, the internet expected him to sit quietly in the shadows and take this loss with a little dignity. But dignity is the one thing this 45-year-old refuses to pick up. Instead, he has taken over Twitch like a midlife crisis on turbo mode, calling teenagers chat as if he is one of them, performing dramatic monologues, and picking unnecessary fights with every rapper and streamer who even breathes in his direction. Kevin Gates, especially. According to Ray J, everyone suddenly has a problem with him, but the only one causing problems is the man staring back at him in the mirror. And the desperation for attention is so loud, it practically screams. Yet Kevin Gates simply walked past the drama as if Ray J were invisible, as if he were background noise in a world that had already moved on. That silence? That silence shattered Ray J's ego like glass. Because the next time he surfaced online, he arrived with the type of petty move that makes the internet gasp in disbelief. He went after Kevin Gates' ex. A move so calculated, so wildly unnecessary, that it shifted the entire situation from messy to catastrophic. And that is when things spiraled, because Ray J unknowingly stepped into a storm he was not built for. Kevin Gates may be calm, but he is not the type of man who lets someone throw stones at him while smiling for the camera. Especially not Ray J. What makes this story even more chaotic is that Ray J has been desperately clawing his way into the streaming world for a while now. The music checks slowed down. He is no longer sitting in that love and hip-hop spotlight collecting easy fame. And even though he loudly announced his dream of putting Brandy and Monica on a tour together, they actually did it, without him, without his involvement, without even tossing him a courtesy shout-out. That bruised his pride deeply. So now he is on a mission to reinvent himself online, and apparently, the rebrand is built on stirring as much chaos as humanly possible. One day he is randomly calling out NLE Choppa. The next day Kevin Gates. And when people ignored that too, he escalated. Then came the comment that detonated the internet in real time. Without blinking, without hesitation, Ray J said he could not wait to shower with IShowSpeed, and that Kevin Gates would be the one to arrange it, and would definitely make it happen. The moment that sentence left his lips, digital shockwaves shot through every corner of social media. People paused mid-scroll, grabbed their phones tighter, and immediately began screen recording the clip like it was the birth of a new scandal. Within minutes, it was everywhere: TikTok stitches, Twitter threads, Instagram memes, YouTube reaction videos with titles like, "What did Ray J just say?" The internet did not just react, it combusted. And here's the thing, that comment did not appear out of nowhere. For years, the culture had been whispering about Ray J, tiny rumors floating around like dust particles waiting for a beam of light to expose them. Subtle jokes from celebrities, awkward interview moments, strange confessions that fans archived as evidence for future reference. So when Ray J said what he said, so boldly, so fearlessly, so casually, it felt to many like he had just cracked open a vault of speculation that had been sealed for years. The question that hovered in the air was simple but explosive: did Ray J just reveal the truth, or was he trolling the world again with the reckless confidence of a man who enjoys watching the internet burn? The thing about Ray J, and the reason the internet can never fully look away from him, is that his intentions are wrapped in layers of mystery, impulse, and pure theatrical instinct. Nobody ever truly knows if he is being sincere, strategic, unhinged, or a volatile combination of all three. But this moment right here felt different. There was a strange confidence in his tone, an eerie comfort in the way he spoke, almost as if he wanted the world to gasp, to speculate, to spiral. And the moment he opened that door, people rushed through it. If Ray J was implying all of this so boldly, did that mean Kevin Gates was involved in some way? Was Kevin aware that his name was being used as a prop in Ray J's latest chaotic performance? Did they speak privately? Was there a hidden dynamic the public had never seen, or had Ray J just ignited a fire that Kevin did not even know existed? Meanwhile, across the digital universe, Kevin Gates remained untouched by the flames. He was not shaken. He was not irritated. He was simply uninterested. Kevin is known for floating above drama as if he lives in his own spiritual galaxy, separate from the noise. He did not post a single reaction. He did not like a single tweet. He did not drop a vague Bible verse, a poem, a hint, or even a sarcastic emoji. Nothing. To him, Ray J's statement was just another unpredictable moment in the circus of entertainment. But ironically, Kevin's silence made everything worse. The public waited for a response, waited for a denial, waited for the tiniest crack in Kevin's calm exterior. It never came. And with every passing hour, the silence became louder. But this is where Kevin Gates may have miscalculated. Because Ray J is not a man who randomly makes a dramatic statement and then vanishes into the background. No. Ray J enjoys theater. He enjoys reaction. He enjoys movement. And when he does not get the attention he seeks directly, he goes hunting for it indirectly. Shortly after Kevin ignored the situation, the public noticed Ray J shifting. He began posting more boldly, inserting himself into conversations he had no reason to be in, attaching himself to trending topics the way a moth attaches itself to the brightest flame. It felt intentional, like a man trying to orbit the sun after realizing the sun refuses to turn. Then something unexpected happened. Ray J drifted toward Sheila. Yes, that Sheila. The same woman who had already been tangled in her own timeline of chaos with Kevin Gates, the same Sheila who had been rumored to overlap with Brittany Renner during Kevin's alleged marriage. A figure already surrounded by speculation, already standing in a cloud of unanswered questions. And suddenly Ray J was there, appearing in photos, attending the same events, moving through the same social circles, as if he had been teleported into her world overnight. It sent the internet into instant detective mode. Was this Ray J trying to provoke Kevin? Was it jealousy? Was he attempting to create a narrative? Or was Ray J simply performing the way he always does, stirring a pot that did not need stirring until the entire table shook? The most unbelievable part was how confidently Ray J began calling Sheila his woman, speaking about her with affection, posting as if he was building a future with her. But anyone who had followed Ray J for longer than 10 minutes knew his history was a maze of contradictions. This was the same man who cried on camera about still loving Princess Love, the mother of his children. The same man who publicly proclaimed that he wanted to fix his family, rebuild their home, and heal the wounds between them. And yet here he stood, in the exact same breath, celebrating Sheila as if he had discovered a new soulmate. It was not just messy, it was surreal. Slowly, the public began piecing together the pattern. This was not emotional confusion, this was strategy. Every move Ray J made lined up too perfectly. Every sighting felt too well timed. His sudden closeness to Sheila lined up suspiciously with the moment Kevin Gates refused to acknowledge him. It began looking less like a romance and more like a carefully crafted performance. A spectacle. A provocation. A look at me megaphone aimed directly at the one person who refused to look. Because Ray J does not move in a straight line. He moves in layers. He speaks in riddles. He lives in theatrics. So when he appeared beside Sheila, people understood instantly, maybe he was not chasing her heart. Maybe he was chasing the symbolism, the optics, the chaos that came with being seen with her. Sheila herself remained silent. Composed. Detached. She rarely speaks publicly, which only added more mystery to the spectacle. But the sightings continued. Ray J at her events. Ray J liking her posts. Ray J showing up in every conversation her name appeared in. Fans started whispering that the interest Ray J displayed was not romantic, it was performative. A part of a larger game he had been playing from the moment he brought up Kevin Gates on stream. And the timeline turned even more chaotic when people remembered that Ray J's feelings for Princess were not ancient history. They were fresh. He had literally just been filming emotional moments with her, expressing love, expressing regret, expressing desire to rebuild their family. Yet within what felt like minutes, he was parading Sheila as if she were the new center of his world. The conclusion became unavoidable. Ray J did not just want attention. He wanted control of the narrative. He wanted to dominate the conversation. And if he had to blur emotional lines, ignite rumors, and pull multiple women into the spotlight to achieve it, then that is exactly what he would do. But beneath all the noise, beneath the memes, beneath the chaotic highlights circulating across every social platform, there was a deeper question simmering in the background, a question whispered more quietly, almost nervously. People began wondering whether Ray J was projecting something much bigger, something he did not want to articulate directly. Whether his jokes about showering with IShowSpeed were actually jokes at all, or whether they were coded messages wrapped in humor because honesty would make him feel too exposed. Whether his repeated references to Kevin Gates were not random at all, but carefully placed smoke signals, strategically scattered to attract attention without requiring real vulnerability. And whether Sheila was never the love interest, never the emotional anchor, but simply the most convenient chess piece in Ray J's growing obsession with forcing Kevin Gates, or at least the public, to acknowledge him. Ray J has always existed in a space where everything he says could be interpreted a dozen different ways. He thrives in ambiguity the way some people thrive in the spotlight. He leans into irony so heavily that every statement becomes a riddle. He blurs sincerity and performance until they become indistinguishable. One minute, he is laughing. The next minute, he is confessing. And somehow both moments feel equally real and equally fake at the exact same time. That is why people were confused. They genuinely could not tell if Ray J was being emotional, manipulative, symbolic, or self-destructive. And the more Kevin Gates ignored him, the more Ray J's behavior shifted into something that looked less like harmless trolling and more like a man spiraling in broad daylight. Online, the digital detectives came out in full force. They analyzed screenshots, slowed down clips, investigated subtle facial expressions, compared timestamps, and dissected Ray J's every movement as if his life were a televised crime scene. Was he escalating? Was he frustrated? Was he intentionally creating a spectacle, or was he truly collapsing under the weight of his own need for relevance? And the truth is, Ray J is the type of person who can spiral and strategize at the exact same time. He can lose control while pretending to orchestrate the chaos. He can create a storm and then smile proudly as if he knows exactly where every lightning bolt will land. Kevin Gates, on the other hand, continued drifting along his own spiritual frequency, untouched by the circus forming around him. His silence became a character in the story. The more he ignored the drama, the louder Ray J became. The more Kevin stepped back, the harder Ray J pushed forward. And when Ray J finally drifted toward Sheila, it felt like the climax of an entire unhinged storyline, unpredictable, messy, theatrical, and unmistakably Ray J. But here is where the plot twisted even further. Sheila seemed to lean into it. She was not passive. She hyped him up. She encouraged him. She told him to stay with her because he was the best person she had ever been with, the only man who had treated her with genuine decency. But the painful part was that it felt like she was trying to convince herself more than she was trying to convince Ray J. She clung desperately to the idea that choosing Ray J was part of her healing, part of her attempt to prove she had truly moved on from Kevin. Maybe she believed Ray J represented stability. Maybe she believed he represented emotional safety. But to everyone watching from the outside, the truth was painfully obvious. Ray J was not choosing her out of love, respect, or affection. He was choosing her because she was the perfect prop for the storyline he wanted to push. Ray J wanted a reaction. And he did not care who he hurt to get it. People close to the situation said Ray J wasted no time mistreating her behind the scenes. He humiliated her. He insulted her. He made comments designed to chip away at her confidence, her dignity, her emotional balance. It was as if he enjoyed watching her shrink while he performed loyalty for the cameras. He weaponized her devotion and turned it into his personal entertainment. And the saddest part of all was that she allowed it because she believed choosing him somehow meant she was choosing growth. She believed that standing by him meant she finally had something stable, something real. But she did not realize she was standing beside a man who viewed her as a tool rather than a partner. Multiple sources even claimed that the only reason Ray J got with Sheila in the first place was to humiliate her and use that humiliation as ammunition in his twisted attempt to get revenge on Kevin. That was the entire plan. The entire plot. And the longer people watched the dynamic unfold, the more obvious it became. But here is the real punchline: the revenge plan did not work. Not even a little. It did not affect Kevin Gates' mood, his energy, his lifestyle, or his attention. In fact, Kevin was living life more peacefully than ever, proving that Ray J had not struck a nerve at all. If anything, Ray J looked like the one who was unraveling, the one who was pressed, the one who was desperate for acknowledgement. Because if there is one thing the world knows about Kevin Gates, it is that this man moves on at a speed that should qualify as an Olympic sport. He meets a new woman as often as he changes his wardrobe. He is public, loud, unapologetic, and almost flamboyant in how quickly he jumps from one relationship to another. He love bombs, he parades, he posts, and then he vanishes the moment the excitement fades. Kevin Gates has built a reputation for being emotionally detached to a degree that borders on legendary. He does not get attached. He does not cling. He does not chase. He simply does not care. So for Ray J to think that getting with Sheila, a woman with real emotions, real hopes, real vulnerability, would somehow shake Kevin Gates was not only delusional, it was embarrassing. Kevin Gates had already moved on before the storyline even began. Ray J was fighting a ghost, battling a man who was not even in the arena. And that is what made the entire saga so painfully ironic. And the internet saw through Ray J immediately. The dragging online was brutal, relentless, and honestly historic. People tore into both Ray J and Sheila, but especially Ray J, because the public had reached a point of collective exhaustion. They said he had turned into a full-blown circus act, a parody of his former self, a man so desperate to feel relevant that he would latch onto any storyline, any woman, any spark of drama that might breathe life back into his fading spotlight. They said he looked pathetic, flailing from scandal to scandal with no purpose, no talent, and absolutely no self-awareness. And poor Sheila, bless her heart, became the internet symbol of someone who fell too deep into someone else's narrative without realizing she was never meant to be a partner, only a pawn. People online did not hold back. They said Ray J is not even a funny troll, but the sad kind, the washed-up kind, the kind who clings to chaos because chaos is the only currency he has left. They said watching him hop from one disaster to another had become emotionally exhausting, like watching someone trip over the same stone again and again yet claiming each fall is part of a master plan. The internet began saying things like, "I am so sick of Ray J and his entire existence, LOL," and while the tone sounded playful, the frustration was real. The joke had stopped being funny. The sarcasm had stopped being lighthearted. It had turned into a collective cry for this man to sit down somewhere and get his life together. Because the truth, as harsh as it may be, is that Ray J does not possess the level of talent he believes he does. His one-hit song lives more in nostalgia than in reality. Most of his fame stems from the actions of others, from his sister, from past relationships, from scandals that kept his name afloat even when there was nothing tangible to back it up. Instead of building something meaningful, something long-lasting, something that could redeem him, he embraced spectacle. He embraced shock factor. He embraced ghetto theatrics and dramatic outbursts because those were the only things guaranteed to earn him a headline. His entire career has become a game of latching onto messy storylines and pretending it is genius marketing when, in reality, it is just desperate noise from a man terrified of fading into silence. And as for Sheila, the internet whispered that she might be preparing to take legal action. If it turns out Ray J misled her, used her, manipulated her emotionally, or dragged her into a public tornado she never fully understood, then a lawsuit would not only be justified, it would be expected. Ray J treats emotions like props. He treats people's hearts like disposable accessories in his never-ending chase for attention. He does not consider consequences. He only considers reaction. And once the chaos settles and the cameras stop rolling, he disappears, leaving behind confusion, heartbreak, and legal threats. And for all her flaws, all her questionable choices, all her attempts to prove something, Sheila does not deserve to be used like that. No human being does. But the saddest part of all? Sheila is fighting battles that are not even hers. She is trying to prove something to a man who is not watching. She is seeking validation from a man who never intended to give her any. She is trying to salvage her dignity in front of an audience that already decided what they think of her. Meanwhile, Ray J is using her as a chess piece, manipulating her emotions for his storyline, while Kevin Gates is somewhere living his life, probably rotating through a new relationship every few days without giving any of this more than a passing thought. It is like watching someone scream into a void, loud, emotional, desperate, while the void remains completely silent. So now the world is watching a three-person tragedy unfold in real time. Ray J is spiraling publicly. Sheila is sinking emotionally. Kevin Gates is unbothered. And the internet is watching like it is a soap opera nobody asked for but cannot stop tuning into. Every new development makes the truth louder and clearer. Ray J is out of control, Sheila is being dragged down with him, and unless she finds enough strength to walk away, this will only get uglier. Because Ray J is not done. He never is. But his reputation? His credibility? His relevance? Those have evaporated. No stunt can bring them back. Every move he makes only digs the hole deeper. And the saddest irony of all is that he has no idea she is going to be the one who brings him down.